forget, like I did last time, to get our YouTube stream going. What's up? Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Hope you all are doing well this morning. All right, let's get my screen sharing going to the Discord. All right, you guys should see that. We are 5 by 5, it looks like. All right, so hope everybody enjoyed a nice long weekend with the markets being closed yesterday. Just taking a quick look at any kind of economic data that we're going to need, or potential catalysts, I should say, that we should be aware of throughout the day today. Do have one Fed speaker around 11 a.m. Waller's speaking. Not sure where or what, it doesn't say exactly. So yeah, probably a nothing burger would be my guess. I do have, gosh, why do I have all this great? Oh, hang on, sorry. Well, that's weird. I just realizing that I, for some reason, have all of these extra countries selected on my economic calendar here that I don't need. So it's kind of making it a little bit confusing. Let's get this cleaned up. That should do it. All right. So anyway, yeah, going back to economic data points coming out. We do have retail data tomorrow, as well as import-export prices. Got a couple of Fed speakers talking tomorrow. Bond auctions. So, not seeing anything so far. Obviously, jobless claims Thursday. We're used to seeing that every Thursday. Got a few more Fed speakers. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's too much of like a wow, we better watch out or pay attention to that. So, that's good to know. Let's take a look at some charts here. Let's get things on track with that. Let me get my chat window open. For some reason that wasn't open. What's up, all or nothing? Good morning. Good morning, everybody who's joined since we initially kicked this off just a couple of minutes ago. So, what are we looking at here on the markets, or with the markets? Again, I always generally like to get a idea of where we're at from a bigger picture perspective, using futures for the S&P. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce off this demand zone that we established recently, going here into pre-market. There is a few trend lines here on the chart. This one, I noticed that it seems like we are just breaking down from 3 really nice touches and reactions to that, and broke down below. Also seeing a couple descending trend lines, a sort of steeper one and a flatter one overhead. This was part of what looked like a megaphone pattern forming not too long ago, but that trend line is still technically intact. I doubt we'll ever see it or use it again. It was a bit steep, in my opinion, and we did break out of that megaphone pattern. Don't know if that technically invalidates both trend lines, but yeah, again, I don't think we'll see this guy anymore. So really kind of more focused on these 3 trend lines and sort of this these cross sections where they are overlapping each other and kind of continuing to sort of put some downward pressure on price action here from an ES perspective. So keep your heads on a swivel, stay nimble. Again, we are kind of up in the all-time high neck of the woods. I mean, if we were talking about this from like a football perspective, an all-time high would be a touchdown. We're definitely in the red zone. So certainly see plenty of offensive drives stall in the red zone before eventually pushing through and getting in. But just again, be kind of mindful of where we're at. I think we're at a place where really kind of market could go either direction. Really, I think for me to get interested in there being a bigger move for all-time highs and potentially establishing some new all-time highs, you know, I think we need to break through both of these supply zones that we have overhead here in this 48, 59, 50 level. I think through all that, you know, things potentially look a little bit more optimistic for continuation to the upside until we get through that. I think we're kind of right at the top of the selling pressure, right? We're sort of running right into it, and struggling, which is not surprising because there's a lot of reasons for buyers to be a lot more cautious and sellers to maybe be a little bit more aggressive up in this range. So, anyway, with that out of the way, let's talk about the trade plans we put together over the weekend. Also, probably need to scroll through and take a look at. I forget what our last couple of tickers were that we did on Thursday before the long weekend. Looks like we did XLF and SoFi. Not sure how either of those played out. I would imagine they both would have played out similarly, considering SoFi is a financial ticker and XLF's financial sector. Let's see though. Those are probably both in this layout. So I'll just get those added to my list of tickers, but we'll also take a quick look at the member selected tickers from that I did yesterday evening. Those plans posted in the watch list. Make sure that nothing's changed. I did notice that it looked like I think Apple was already breaking down below the put entry, maybe even already tested PT1, I think, if I remember correctly. So XLF and SoFi. And it looks like AMD's trying to make a push for the upside, break it out here this morning. So let's take a look at some of these trade plans, talk about those, and then, yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Good morning to you, my friend. As Chris has said here in the chat, if you guys have some ticker requests for this morning, go ahead and start dropping those in the chat. If you don't see the chat, little word bubble, top right-hand corner of your screen if you're in the morning live stream channel, and all that you see is a bunch of avatar tiles. That's how you get to the chat section. So make sure you got that open. That will let you type in your ticker requests, questions, whatever. You know, this is meant to be interactive, not just purely you guys watching. So please engage with me. Let me know what questions you have or tickers you want to see me take a look at. All right, so, oh gosh, where should we start? Let's go to our member selected tickers from over the weekend. Like I said, Apple already breaking below our put entry, and this one actually talked about, did this plan, I think during a mentoring session I had really kind of a marathon of mentoring with one person who wanted to kind of knock out a crash course in a weekend. And so, you know, as I was looking at this setup, I was like, man, I really like this. I hope if it didn't get voted in the member selected tickers, I was going to use it anyway, but it did wind up being in the top 3. Yeah, really kind of looking ready for a breakdown here on Apple, and sure enough, we got that gap down below. The put entry have back tested it, rejected it already. Now testing PT1 as support. If I was going to give some suggestions on how to handle this from here, I'd be looking for one of two things. I'd be looking for a break below PT1. I think that would allow you to use our put entry level 184.47 as a stop loss average down. It'd be very close to a 1-to-1 risk reward. So it'd be a little bit careful, you know, chasing this one at this point. Also, though, to be said, there's a gap to the upside that has just opened actually right off of our put entry and our stop loss average down. This is actually a really great opportunity for me to talk about this. If you're learning support and resistance and how to draw it, one of the things that really catches my attention a lot, especially on the extended hours chart, is if you have a gap. Those can be very helpful for finding support and resistance levels, whether those be existing support and resistance levels or establishing new ones. Again, we published this plan last night before pre-market happened, and we got this gap down, and sure enough, our levels are pretty much bang on. Looks like close to the penny, right, for where this gap is sitting between 184.47 and 185.59. So yeah, really nice to see that. That's always a good sign that the levels that you're using and drawing are the right ones to watch. So that being said, you know, again, I could certainly see a back test of this providing a good put entry setup, especially if the 100 SMA here on the hourly is up around that range, providing some confluence. So if we get a bounce up into that 184.47, that also being now a gap to get into, I think bears will defend it pretty well if they're trying to push Apple to the downside. So yeah, watch for a back test there for a potential entry. Breakdown could also work if we do get a confirmed break below PT1 and then flip 184.47 to be in your stop loss. So anyway, Apple trade plan kind of already in effect. That is the risk, and happens sometimes when we're doing these over the weekend, but got to have a plan anyway, and there's no sense in just not doing something productive with your Sunday / in this case of this holiday week, Monday. So keep an eye on Apple for this to continue. All or nothing, we are talking about the existing Apple trade plan right now, buddy. So yeah, hopefully you caught what we just covered. And I'm getting ready to talk about Tesla too, so works out. All right, AMD was also on our list of member selected tickers. Beer and football is definitely productive. AMD also given us kind of a little bit of a move before we can really do anything about it. Big move to the upside here, pre-market, so kind of an interesting move, and I'm curious if that is like reflective of something that's happening overall with the market, or if that's just AMD. Yeah, it seems to just be AMD SPY kind of filling this gap. Looks like it's playing out through some of our trade plan levels from Friday, even a little bit this morning, back testing that put entry level from Friday. So anyway, I was just curious if AMD was moving with the market or independent. So AMD looking very strong, showing lots of relative strength, up 2 point something percent, while ES and NQ are both red. So there's something to be said for that. But again, be patient with this one. Certainly at this point, yeah, nice consolidation below our call entry level that we were waiting on, and already giving us a break to the upside. So see if we get a test a PT1 and then a rejection, maybe a back test down to 148.83 to catch it for continuation. Otherwise, don't really love the entry above 150.88 unless you're going to use 149.72, which I could conceivably see as being, if you're going to play that as a break, that is certainly the stop loss I would want to use here at 149.72. So it would be a little bit of a tight window to try to catch this for continuation, but really I think my preferred approach to AMD would be some kind of a back test of this call entry as support, look for signs of a bounce, and take it from there. Again, potential continuation trade over 150.88, but move your stop up to 149.72 if that's how it plays out for us. All right, Tesla looks to be trying to hold the put entry level going into the market open here from pre-market. A little bit of a gap down, consolidated below that put entry for a little bit. Still quite a bit of selling pressure on it, even here on the 15-minute, full selling pressure on the hourly, and kind of really cleanly rejecting right now the 16 WMA here on the hourly, which it seems to have been following and finding some rejections off of, at least 1, 2, and this looks to be a third here so far this morning on the hourly chart. So yeah, I'd keep a close eye on Tesla. I'd say anywhere in this 214.85 to 217.83 right now definitely looks like a good range to look for opportunities to short it for continuation to the downside, with the ultimate target down there at 205.78. So this plan not yet playing out, but looks like it's getting ready to, and more than likely to the downside, just based on how things are setting up at the moment. But that's of course subject to change. All right, let's take a look at our plans from last Thursday. We did XLF. Nothing's happened with this one yet, except for it's testing put entry level, which is, if this is the put entry level, that's a key support below which we move lower. But if it's a key support, certainly expect to find bounces and buyers stepping in there. That looks to be happening so far this morning. But breaking down below and back testing the 333 SMA as resistance overall. Quite a bit of bearish pressure flipping over flipping things over here pre-market. So XLF could continue to the downside. Keep an eye on this one to break below 37.33. And this one is in the chat if you scroll back to Thursday's live stream session. So make sure you take a look at that one in the chat. Yeah, all the levels are there. And again, for those of you who are new to following these trade plans, these solid lines are my entry levels. This is the call entry level with targets being these dashed lines, stop loss average down being this heavy dotted line. Same thing to the downside here. This is our entry level here, the solid line, stop loss up here at this heavy dotted line. Boom, 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 1, 2, 3 price targets. This white area shows you your risk and reward to the upside. So anyway, just a quick rundown of how to use these charts if that's all you have, and I'm not sitting here talking you through it. All right, the next one is SoFi. This one we did Thursday morning. Looks like it got a really nice test of our stop loss average down level for the downside trade plan. Rejected that. Let's zoom in on this a little bit, see exactly how it's played out. Yeah, nice double top right there with the 100 SMA. That's actually a really great put entry setup for a rejection if you're the type of person who's using confluences. You've got a really good SMA, everything trending to the downside, pushing right into a key level that we rejected the day prior. So really nice rejection there, but if you didn't take that, waiting for the confirmation, 15-minute candle close below, back test and rejection. So really nice back test entry off that 810 level. Took us straight down to PT1 and trying to hold PT2 here, pre-market down at 768. So SoFi playing out beautifully using these levels with laser accuracy, which is what I love to see. All right, so those are the recaps of our trade plans, both the member selected tickers from over the weekend and the trade plans we did last Thursday. So let's take a look at some. So we talked about Tesla and Apple, all or nothing. Hopefully that kind of got you up to speed on those. With any questions you might have, I would again just kind of refer back to the watch list where I posted those member selected tickers and take those levels, use those plans. Feel free to adjust and adapt them based on where Tesla's currently sitting and how you might see things playing out from there. All right, we did have DraftKings for my man Chris. If you guys have any other ticker requests, I should be able to get to at least one more, I would think, given the fact that we still have about 20 minutes left in this morning's live stream. DraftKings is one. It's been a while since I've looked at this one. Let's see. Indicators real quick. Let's take this from a bigger picture perspective real quick. Yeah, minimal price levels that I've drawn on this one. And honestly, I don't even know what you sure do, Chris. I appreciate it, brother. All right, let's see. Let's see, where's a good top for us to watch as far as where I think the range that we're going to trade this thing in is going to be. Right about there. Looks like there wants to be a level right in this neck of the woods. I think it's probably just be a little, yeah, right there. Right. Is it there? Is it here? It's more, I think, right there. I realize I'm just getting out of our range there already. I tend to do that if you let me. Squirrel. Nothing but a lot of resistance there. Weekly. Interesting little doji there, but not seeing much on the weekly there either. That looks like a good level. There's something here, but not a weekly level. Yeah. There. Yeah, I think there is a level there. They're kind of stacked up right there, those two weekly levels, but there's clearly two there. This is an interesting level, but not a good weekly level, so that's another one we'll circle back to. Anything else that jumps out at me here? Let's see. Yeah, actually, that's what we got right here too. Stacked up again a little bit, but that happens. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at this daily chart. Let's get this testing level figured out real quick. Yeah, definitely a daily level there. I think it might be a little bit. We're going to do it as a daily level. It's a little bit higher. It's more like here. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a sense of where we're at. Current, okay. Lots of price action right through this spot. That level 2. And Meta. Yeah, we can take a look at Meta. Satar, sorry if I got a little bit quiet there for a second, guys. I sometimes get into the zone, especially if I'm spotting a bunch of levels roll quickly all at once and kind of maybe get a little too ADD or whatever, OCD about it. Let's see what we have here. This is an interesting little range where I'm not seeing a ton. Actually, it could be sitting right here. Let's check that. Yeah. Yep. Mystery solved on that one. Yeah, for sure there's something right about. Come on, right there. Yep. And all right, let's see where that's got us. It's probably pretty good from a daily perspective. All right, let's check this 4-hour chart. I think we got something near this 3763 level, but let's get some better confirmation. Yeah, it's probably sitting right about here. Just a little nudge right there. Yep. Let's see how that looks. Yep, that's about what I was looking at. Okay. All right, let's see. It's an interesting little rejection up here. Kind of near, very close to that 3871 level. Is there something? It's a little bit higher, I think, than that. Definitely something sitting right there, though. This daily level is probably just a little teeny tiny bit lower, right? Come on, there. Is this a little bit higher? Yeah, I think so. Let's see what that does to that. More recent move, though. Yeah, actually does catch it a little better than I thought it would. Okay, that's good. Pretty close to being done with these 4-hour levels. At least the ones I think we're gonna need. Alright, where's that go? Okay, we'll throw in some hourly levels on a as-needed basis, I think, from this point forward. See if we got any trend lines. Oh, no, if this is gonna catch. Yeah. Not really. So. It's from a 4-hour perspective real quick. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I like that. So yeah, so if we've got a trend that we're fighting against from a downtrend perspective, I think that's about where it's sitting. Let's see this out again real quick. I don't think so. Yeah. We did have one. Could have been sitting right about there. And we're threatening to break below it. Let's just check this from an hourly standpoint. Yeah, that kind of holds up actually. So, DraftKings could be possibly looking for some downside here. All right, indicators on. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's trending bearish from an indicator standpoint too. So it's kind of adding up with what the analysis says. All right, so that said, I think we get pretty good confirmation below this 3165 level, and honestly, I think that yeah, 3062 is probably actually a smart first price target, especially with it being a weekly level. Certainly want to be back above this 3249. Should also get some confluence with this downtrend, depending on the timing of things. So that would be my stop loss, and definitely already know I like that as a second price target. Let's see if there's anything in between us and this next level down that we didn't see because it's on this hourly chart. Now I really like this rejection, kind of builds a base and pushes higher right off that. So yeah, let's go with those. 1, 2, 3 to the downside. What's that? That is a 333 SMA. So this is a 333. That's the 200. This is the 100. Really, the 333 and the 200 are the key ones for me. I keep the 100 on there just to kind of, I don't know. I still debate how much I like having it on my chart or not. And then the screen one, just kind of hard to see. It's kind of running inside this indicator, 16 WMA. So that's kind of one of my favorite combos. Another very popular one that everybody likes if you're looking more for like an EMA and trying to play crossovers and stuff like that, approach the 921. That's another very popular combo. All right, so question becomes, where does our upside potentially start to play out? Do you think reclaiming this 3418 level as support would be pretty significant? Would also get us over the 200 SMA. My one concern, 333 is still kind of hanging out just above here on the hourly, but we're breaking a lot of stuff that's keeping the price action moving down if we get over 3418. So I think that's a good start. Clearly, we've got a flip of resistance to support. Also some confluence right here around this 3336 level. So I'd like that as a stop loss average down. First target, I've already kind of spotted actually 1 and 2 pretty clearly. Get your support, turns to resistance, so back over this level. I'll be looking for that to play out again, resistance. Same thing here, support, flips to resistance to the downside. Question is, I think we might have a level that's more like right here on the hourly chart that we're going to want to maybe pay attention to as a third price target versus that 4-hour level that's already there. Yeah, I mean, it's really splitting hairs, not a huge difference in those prices, but let's make these targets accurate. So this is your DraftKings trade plan, courtesy of JTW. All right, I'll try to take a quick look at Meta. Sorry, I got a little bit deep into this DraftKings plan, but I think this is a good one to pay attention to. Well, currently I'd be leaning slightly bearish on it. Alright, so just to recap this real quick so you guys can follow along with me, what we're looking for is a break to the upside, or to play the upside as a break above 34.18. That should give us targets at 35.30, 36.31, and 37.42, with a stop loss average down at 33.36. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 31.65. That should give us targets at 30.62, 29.55, and 28.45. They stop loss average down at 32.49. That is your DraftKings trade plan. All right, let's take a quick look at Meta. And your boy JTW needs to go get to work on the SPY plan for today. Interesting. Curious. When was the last time that I broke above 375.50? That's probably all time high right there, isn't it? Yeah, 384.02. Got some fib extensions here in the mix. Whoops, that's not what I was trying to do. Yeah, I think this is kind of an interesting setup here. It's a tight window to play this for the upside, but honestly, I think it's not a bad setup. Gives it a little bit of room to play out. And then over 384.02, I mean, really, well, you know what, though, there is... There is a level. It's kind of very quick, but it's in there. I think that's maybe the smarter way to set it up. But over 384.02, look for 391.30. I mean, that's a full breakout at that point. So, actually, we're able to knock the upside out pretty quickly. Again, very tight window. I would keep this small as a starting position just because it is such a tight range that I'm trying to play it in. But pretty clearly below 373.57, I think, you know, I wouldn't want to be holding calls, especially if I'm taking an entry over 375.50. So, downside, it's interesting bounce right there. Kind of close to previous resistance, but let's check this on a higher time frame. Sorry, I think I might be able to get a plan done here. Just curious to know if I've not got a level on my chart right about here that I should have. The answer is probably yeah. Yeah, I think there is actually a level there. It's probably, yeah, going to be a price target too. Wait a second. Did I lose my place here? Oh. Hang on. What the hell just happened? Let's do this. I don't lose it again. I think I lost track of which level I was trying to spot. Thought I confirmed it for a second there. Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. Oh, you know, what, did I magnet tool it by accident or something? Or I don't know. Maybe I got distracted by another area of price action. There is another level though. Right where I was looking. Right about here. Both of these 4-hour levels. Okay. So question is, how do we use this for our meta trade plan? All right, so interesting flip of support resistance right around this 4-hour level. I'm sorry, 1-hour level. All right, I think what I'm looking at here all right, yep, yeah, okay. So let's look for an entry right about this 368.24 level. I think that gives us a good stop loss average down, sitting right about here on the hourly. 371.21. First target down here at 363.03. Second target 360.30. Third target, this weekly level, 357.77. All right, so this is the downside trade plan for Meta. And then drop this in the chat. I'll talk you through it, and then time to go do the SPY plan. Here's your Meta trade plan. So, what we're looking for here on Meta to continue to the upside is a break over 375.50. That should give us targets at 378.60, 381.52, and 384.02, with the stop loss average down at 373.57. To the downside, excuse me, looking for a break below 368.24. That should give us targets at 363.03, 360.30, and 357.77, with a stop loss average down at 371.21. Those are your meta trade plans. You're most welcome, Sataru. All right, with that, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. As always, we will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that, as I always suggest, you guys go out there, plan your trades, trade your plans, have yourself a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the chat, and I will see you back here Thursday morning at 8:30. Take care. Have a great day.